The New York Knicks and Leon Rose were just proven right by the NBA as both Jalen Brunson, the New York Knicks captain, has been named an All-Star after a lot of question if he would as a starter, and Karl-Anthony Towns ran away with the voting as the New York Knicks are the only two teams with All-Star starters proving Leon Rose right for the Karl-Anthony Towns trade and proving me wrong. I'm not going to leave that part out. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. It's Chris here, and we're going to jump right into things as always. If you guys are part of the 68% of viewers not subscribed, jump to the other side if you want daily Knicks news, rumor reports, updates on injuries, general updates, fun live streams on Fridays, and more coming. Fun shorts. I could go on and on. We have more fun on this channel than anyone else on YouTube, but let's jump into this. Two New York Knicks are all-star starters, man. Can you believe it? It's been a very, we keep saying very for a while, long time since we have seen two New York Knicks be named part of the NBA East all-star starters. But today, well, that's that lovely day. Shams revealed it an hour ago from me filming this that Jalen Brunson, Donovan Mitchell, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Jason Tatum, and Karl-Anthony Towns are the 5 all-star starters from the East. Now, yes, this is in a pool of all-stars because there's that little tournament this year where there's 4 teams. One of them's the Rising Stars team that nobody cares about. And then the others, the 3 different all-star teams that, well, no one cares about them either, if I'm being honest. I don't know who still watches the All-Star game. I'll tune in, maybe, if I throw a bet on it. But it doesn't matter. The New York Knicks still have 2 guys named All-Stars, and now I want to watch, and I want to watch them be on the same team, and I want to watch them beat all the other teams because the New York Knicks have been proven that they are back. Leon Rose caught a lot of hate for making that Karl-Anthony Towns trade, and now it has been shown why that was the absolute right move by Leon Rose, and that anyone who said that Leon Rose should not have made that trade is a complete idiot. Okay, yeah, I said it was a completely awful trade. I'm not going to lie, I did. I said it in the intro as well. I was real wrong. I was so wrong, dude. I was as wrong as you could get. Jalen Brunson, I'm not surprised he's an all-star starter. If you started this year and said Jalen Brunson's going to be an all-star starter, I'd be like, yeah, he is. He's that good. If you told me that Karl-Anthony Towns, if you told me this in August, that Karl-Anthony Towns is going to be an all-star starter, I'd tell you you're crazy. And then if you told me he was going to be on the New York Knicks, well, I would have been disgusted if you told me the trade that it was for Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo. But in the same time of the New York Knicks being proven right, the Minnesota Timberwolves are being proven all the way wrong. Now, we will get further into that, but right now we're still doing a bit of a victory lap. As SNY mentioned, Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns are the first duo to start in the All-Star game since Walt Frazier and Earl Monroe in 1975. Brunson and Towns become the first duo since the Rolls-Royce backcourt to be named as dual All-Star starters. The Knicks are the only team that has 2 All-Star starters, showing that they do have some of the top at least 15. I know there's 10 starters. I'm not that bad at math. But, you know, not everything's created equally. I'm aware they're not necessarily, though I think they are, 2 top 10 players in the NBA. But without a doubt, you can't lie. They're 2 top 15 guys in the NBA this season. Karl-Anthony Towns, top of the MVP ladder. Not the very top, but one of the top of the MVP ladders. Can finish in 3rd or 4th place. Jalen Brunson should be farther up there, but he has having a little less points per game than last year, and everyone's acting like it's a crime that he has better teammates this year. I don't know, man. Look, also in case you're interested, the Western Conference, Steph Curry, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, Kevin Durant, LeBron James, Nikola Jokic, all named starters. Correct starting group. Jokic and Shea have been the 2 best players in the NBA this season, with Jokic, Shea, and Giannis. Put Shea and Giannis wherever you want in that list. I think either one's got a good argument. Those two front runners for the MVP. Jokic should win it. Subscribe to Denver Nuggets Digest as well if you guys are interested in that. Look, Steph Curry makes sense. He's Steph Curry. He kind of just gets the votes. Like Kobe deserved the All-Star game in the final season of his career. Let's be real. Come on. It's also still Steph at the end of the day. Kevin Durant, having a great season. LeBron James, greatest player of all time, or the 2nd greatest player of all time. Either answer's right. They're 1A and 1B, LeBron and MJ, however way you want to put it. Look, the East All-Stars look very, very similar or as good as the West All-Stars, which I think is a huge thing to mention. This is not just the New York Knicks getting pity votes here, especially when you consider this. But outside, you telling me Jalen Brunson, Donovan Mitchell, Giannis, Jason Tatum, and Towns look that much worse than Steph, Shea, KD, LeBron, Jokic. I don't really think it looks that much worse. I think it looks worse, but not that much worse. So before people say it's a soft conference, relax. Now, the Minnesota Timberwolves are falling apart while the New York Knicks flourish. Now, taking a look at the New York Knicks, well, they have Jalen Brunson as a starting point guard, true NBA superstar, putting up 26 points per game with 3 rebounds and 7 assists, shooting 39% from 3 and 48% from the field. All of these numbers are also currently going up. Jalen Brunson starts the season a lot slower than he finishes the season. He just gets better as the year goes on, and that carries into the playoffs. You know, exactly what you want to see out of an NBA player. Also shooting 41% from the corner, which is exciting to mention, given Brunson's rarely in the corner because, well, he is the New York Knicks engine of the offense. However, the other key New York Knick, the other all-star starting Knick, Karl-Anthony Towns, is putting up 25 points per game, 14 rebounds a night, 3.5 assists, blocking a shot per game, getting a steal per game. That shot blocking numbers have been rising all season long, started a lot lower. Also, the fouls per game used to be at 4.2. Karl-Anthony Towns has also been showing an improved low block defense than the start of the season, proving that Tom Thibodeau is a very good defensive head coach, as Karl-Anthony Towns, a guy who seemed hopeless on the defensive end, has gotten a lot better already just through this season alone. Meanwhile, he's shooting 54% from the field, 43% from 3. The man's been lights out. There's just no way around it. Karl-Anthony Towns is just that good. Obvious all-star starter. I mean, 25 and 14 is just absolutely absurd numbers, especially when you're shooting 43% from 3. Many years that could be named an all-star, but both Jokic and Shea are on just insane runs right now. There's nothing you can do about that. And hey, that's fine with me. Look, diving into something else, well, it's just a good time to be a New York Knicks fan. Knicks dirty work guy, Josh Hart, the true glue guy of the NBA, the NBA's best glue guy, said that if 11 and 32 aren't starters, we riot. And then he got really hype and tweeted out in support of his guys, and then said, well, the riot is off. I have 2 hours blocked out for it, so any ideas of what to do now? Well, Josh, I can tell you one thing what you could be doing. And it won't happen, but you deserve it. You should be getting ready to be named an all-star, Josh. 14 points, 10 rebounds per game, 5.5 assists on the best New York Knicks team in the last 25 years since the 1999 NBA Finals run, which wasn't as an 8th seed. This Knicks team, skill-wise, talent-wise, is better than that 99 team, especially considering Ewing was getting up there. Still, the Knicks are the best team since then. You can't put this Knicks over the other Knicks, as those Knicks made the NBA Finals. So it's important to mention that absolutely the 99 Knicks still get the nod, in my opinion. But look, 55% from the field, 36% from 3. Josh Hart does all the right things, just leads to winning in every sense of the word. The man deserves an all-star nod for all that he's doing for the New York Knicks, but I don't think he'll get it because the Knicks are not a first seed. If the Knicks were the first seed, I could absolutely see them getting it. Like that year, remember when Jeff Teague, Kyle Korver, Horford, and Millsap all made the All-Star game? And what's his face? Damari Carroll was the one guy who didn't make it. Josh Hart deserves some award like that. No, not all those Hawks deserve to make it, but they did not lose a game in the month of January, so they got there. Josh Hart deserves to get there for the same reason. The man just causes winning. I truly believe Josh Hart should be an NBA All-Star. I really do think. But speaking of two guys who are not NBA All-Stars this season, though, will always be all-stars in my heart and many other Knicks fans' hearts, are Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo. The two guys who the New York Knicks traded for superstar Karl-Anthony Towns is the Timberwolves, though the Knicks are being proven right. The Timberwolves are being proven ever so wrong and why they should not have traded Karl-Anthony Towns for salary cap reasons. Now, taking a look at a recent report from Evan Sidery, he mentions that rival executives believe the Timberwolves will be seeking a Julius Randle trade before the deadline for a better on-court fit alongside Anthony Edwards and Rudy Gobert. Randle has a $30.9 million player exception for next season. Many around the league are expecting him to pick it up. Now, here's the thing. A few years ago, if you said that, or even a year ago before the trade, if you said Julius was going to pick it up, I think you were insane. I'd say he could get more money from the New York Knicks, but the Knicks and Randle were very far off in contract negotiations. The Knicks did not want to pay Randle for all the money Randle was worth because they didn't want to go into the first apron and also maybe didn't think he was worth that money, so they dealt him to Minnesota. And, well, they were proven right. Randle was not named an all-star, and I think the reason because of that is not because Randle's getting worse. If you look, all his numbers, all his averages look the same if he wasn't being on the same team as Anthony Edwards and Rudy Gobert, but the Timberwolves are right here. They have to move Randle. Randle is not being properly utilized on the Minnesota Timberwolves because the fit is wonky. I mean, Jaden McDaniels and Rudy Gobert are not who you want to have in a front court with Julius Randle, and I mean, Anthony Edwards, who's so ball dominant and so ISO dominant, it makes having Julius Randle a little redundant that you have this heavy ISO guy as your second option. It doesn't make sense. And frankly, the Timberwolves should trade him. There's a few different teams that I think Randle would fit on, and I hope for Randle's sake that he gets moved to a team that he fits on, because this season is not working out on the basic numbers for Randle, which will affect his money. Taking a look at him, he's putting up 18.9 points per game, 7.3 rebounds, 4.5 assists, and is shooting 46 and 33% from the field. Similar numbers to what he shot with the New York Knicks, except we're seeing 24 and 10, not 19 and 7, because he's being overshadowed by guys who he doesn't fit on the court with. Meanwhile, DiVincenzo, the other guy on the Knicks, has been balling out recently, but now is down with an injury. Devo on the season, the numbers are steadily climbing. Since he got put as a starter, he was balling out, looking like the Devo that us Knicks fans know. He's putting up on the season 11 points, 3.5 rebounds, 3.5 assists, shooting 40% from the field and 37% from three. The numbers are climbing, but still it's an underwhelming season, especially considering that 31% on corner threes. It's just not what the Timberwolves thought they were getting out of Dante DiVincenzo, and you see now that the New York Knicks made the right move. I think that DiVincenzo would have been just fine on the Knicks. I don't think his play would have changed. I think it was a big adjustment for him going to the Timberwolves, and not only coming off the bench, which he hadn't done in a while because he was on the Knicks in November, December, he got named as a starter and played so well. So feeling like you're losing minutes in a new world definitely threw him off, especially when there wasn't a lot of good shooting on the Timberwolves, unlike how the Knicks had a lot of good shooting. So the Timberwolves were able to, or Timberwolves opponents were able to zero in on Dante as the one true shooter, which hurt his numbers. Look, Leon Rose is proven right, though. If you look at everyone's numbers, I mean, Julius and Dante, they haven't equaled what Karl-Anthony Towns has equaled this season. In baseball, there's a stat called wins over replacement, which is the amount of wins that you're causing, essentially. Their wins over replacement would not equal Karl-Anthony Towns's. And, well, Jalen Brunson is just that good, as we know. The New York Knicks, they deserve this. Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns deserve this. New York Knicks fans deserve this. And it's important to mention that it's 50% fan vote, 25% players, and 25% media. So overall, even though last time we saw the AllStar returns, Brunson was creeping up as he was the third starter named, the media and other players think Brunson deserves it, which is a huge nod for him, just to discuss how you see these players and how they think guarding Jalen Brunson must be hell. The New York Knicks are back. They are true contenders this season. I do want to see them make a move for their bench, but we could talk about that in a later video because this one's running long. Guys, let me know what you think down below. I actually have a video coming out on their bench later, not later today, but tomorrow morning, so you'll see it soon. Guys, if you guys like the video, make sure to subscribe. It really helps me out a ton. Turn on post notifications. Leave a comment down below. Have a great day, and go Knicks. Also, let me know where Jalen Brunson is on your all-time Knicks list.